I'm going to spend some time talking with a local author who has just released his latest novel, Manslaughter. You can see the cover behind us. And all you crime fiction lovers, beware, because once you pick up this novel, you aren't going to want to put it down, which I know is true of all of your novels, Mike.
Well, thank you, Jenna.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on the show as well.
And I appreciate the opportunity you've given me to appear on this show.
Oh, of course. You know, I'm very intrigued already by your novel, Manslaughter. And for our viewers, Mike, could you summarize it in a couple sentences?
It's about a guy who comes to Key West trying to outrun the law and outrun his partners in crime. And he wants to come here to set up a new identity and a permanent escape to the Caribbean. But he soon meets up with Gail, a sexy local who has other things in mind for him. And soon he finds himself trapped into pulling one more job, this one for over $1 million. And eventually the cops are onto him, his former partners are tracking him, and a hurricane is coming. And as I say, time is running out, but will it be on his side?
Oh, I'm very intrigued, Mike, like I just mentioned earlier. And now what would you say is most unique about this book?
Jenna, this book, like the other two books in this series, I call it the Key West Nocturnes series. These books, along with Manslaughter, lift the veil off Key West, in my opinion, and reveal it as a true noir city, on a par with Los Angeles or New Orleans or Miami. Everyone knows Key West as a sort of fun in the sun, kind of end of the road, quirky kind of a place. But I've always seen it as a very noir kind of place, where beneath the tourist veneer, there's a lot going on that the tourists never see. And that's the world of Key West that I explore in my novels.
Okay, and now this is the third entry into
That's
your
right.
Nocturne series. Tell us about your Nocturne series and where you got the idea for that.
Well, the series consists of 3 books. The first one is called Set Up on Front Street. The second one is called The Ghosts of Havana, and this one is Manslaughter. And now they're not in one continuous story arc. I mean, you can read one without having read the others. They're what they call standalone novels, but they all take place here in Key West, way back in the shadows where the tourists never go. And I got the idea for it because I'm sort of a student of noir fiction and film noir, and all of the noir fiction and film noir, a lot of it anyway, takes place in these places that I mentioned, Los Angeles and New Orleans and Miami and other places. But I've never seen anything in Key West, and I know that Key West is a very noir kind of place. I've lived here the better part of 21 years, and I know a lot of things about the city, a lot of the things that the tourists never see, and I try to bring this to my novels.
And now, can you pin a definition on noir for us?
Well, of course, you ask 100 different people what their definition of noir is, and you'll get 110 different answers. But for me, noir is a story about ordinary people, who I call minor players in society, consumed by extraordinary circumstances and emotions like greed or lust or the survival instinct. I mean, these people will find themselves painted into a corner through choices that they have made themselves, and they just keep making one bad choice after another until eventually they're forced to cross the line. And you know, who's to say that you or I or anybody out there wouldn't act in the same way if we were pushed hard enough? It's all part of the human condition, and that to me is what noir is all about.
And now, are your characters based on real people, or are these all fiction?
No. All fiction, right?
Okay.
All
No real
fiction.
ones.
Every single character in this book and all of my books are all fictional, completely made up. They're not inspired by anybody, real or living, dead, anything like that. It's all fiction.
Okay. Would you ever write a novel based on real characters, or do you like doing?
No, I like doing fiction, because I can make it all up. And you know, if I don't like a character, well, I can murder him, you know, and get away with it.
It's all up to you and your imagination,
Right.
right? Now, Mike, how long have you been writing books for?
I started writing, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I think. Although I never really had any aspirations to writing, but I just started doing it almost as a dare back in the late 1980s. And I wrote several novels, but nothing ever got published. And one thing led to another, and then pretty soon in August of 2009, I was offered a publishing deal on one of my novels. And so I took it, and that was a noir novel. It came out. It was called The Take. Not set in Key West, but nevertheless, it was a pretty good book. And then after that, I decided to switch over to Key West books.
All right, and your latest one has just been released, Manslaughter. If
That's
people
right.
want to purchase it, where should they go to?
Well, you can get it on Amazon. If you're a Kindle, if you have a Kindle, you're a digital book lover, you can get it on Amazon. The print version is also available on Amazon. It is also available in the Conch Tour Train gift shops around town, the Sponge Market gift shop. It's available at the Departure Lounge in the Key West Airport. A gift shop, excuse me, in the Departure Lounge of the Key West Airport. And it's available on, I'm talking about the print versions now. And it's also available on createspace.com.
Okay, great. And of course, they can check out your website.
Yes,
if they
my
wanna
website,
contact you.
MikeDennisNoir.com. And as you see right there on the screen, and we'll have information about the books there too, along with links to where you can buy them.
All right, well, great. Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us this morning, Mike.
Thank you for having me, Jenna. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, everybody pick up your latest copy of Manslaughter by Mike Dennis. Don't go away, everyone. I'm going to be right back with personal trainer Courtney Amon.